Black Power. I want to shout out the brother Malcolm Garvey Huey. He just sent me a video clip of Dr. Amos Wilson speaking on some information that I've been meditating on as far as sharing in this week's Fight Back Terrorist Intervention report, whatever you want to call it. But it pretty much involves a lot of the shit we dealing with at this very moment. So it's just confirmation that it has to be addressed. And that being this meeting, or actually just the actual moment we're in with the work we've been doing. Like I've been sharing, there are a lot of representatives on the Korean side of this that want to meet to resolve this. Basically, pay motherfuckers. And with that, with both Blacks in 365 and as of this moment, the Africa Town Coalition not being non-profits or any type of LLCs or any other shit that this government regulates, because that's all that's really been spoken on. Having an entity that the government regulates in order to receive funds, period. Whereas we as the people, we are been doing the work, so one end is looking at how we as a coalition will structure ourselves to receive, if any, of this, and or possibly aligning ourselves with others who are in a position, to receive any of this. But that is unfortunately where too many of our movements get sabotaged. The point at which people lose focus of what the mission is. Rather than looking at the collective good, a lot of individual goods replace that. And people as individuals, they will continue to use their influence over the masses, the collective, to support them. But ultimately, they looking to do what Sharpton, Messy Jackson, Foul Sharpton, Messy Jackson did. Pimp our plights, pimp our causes, pimp our movements, and better their personal conditions, but not gaining any real victories for us as a people. And as much shit as folks talk about Blacks in 365, the Africa Town Coalition, the reality is we have been very effective in getting some minor changes on behalf of the people. We've been very effective in building things that have been to our community's best interests. From freedom schools to food programs to getting out here actually protecting folks, not just talking big and bad high power shit, but actually putting our bodies and souls out there protecting people, both from these psychopathic terrorists they put into our communities under under the mask of police and sheriffs, to other folks acting on ill behaviors. But even more so in the situations like where we are with these Korean merchants, we have consistently won victories for our people and not taken the payoff. So right now, the reality is, we have a lot of spaces and other things in our community that we need to gain control of if we are going to be able to maintain in our community. And the idealistic way would be we all come together and folks put their money in and do this, that, and the other. And there are some folks doing that. And most definitely they are saluted. But with us being, as a lot of folks would possibly say, extremists that we are, uncompromising radicals, some folks either don't want to fuck with us and other folks see us as something to manipulate, exploit, and benefit off of us. But we have consistently shown some type of victory on the people's behalf. So, that's where we are right now, figuring out exactly how to move forward. We put out an open invitation for all who are in a position to possibly receive funding based off of the demands we put forward and any amendments y'all can make to the demands that are reasonable. that will benefit the collective good. But we know the ultimate goal is to gain control of these resources, properties, means to protect ourselves, do for self, in our own without outside interests. But again, history shows us that's where they sabotaged Marcus Garvey, took him out. They sabotaged Malcolm, took him out. They sabotaged Dr. King, the Panthers, and many others who actually got out and did it. A lot of these lecturing, jaw-jacking cats, they'll swear up and down, and true enough, changing people's minds is a very big part of it. But actually getting out here and making shit happen is once they really get on your ass. So right now, there are those of us who they are seeking to remove. Last night, what I saw with the police coming out, the numbers they came out to that store suggests, they very much want to provoke us into them having justifiable causes to, use violence, kidnap us, whatever. And it's not for us to take a passive role and say, let's run it high, let's tone it down, let's whatever. Because again, they're initiating this shit. There's nothing too toned down once a motherfucker initiate shit. That's where they have used fear to continue to get us to think passively. That we just stay out the way, we only push the line so far. But again, that's being powerless. When we talk about black power, empowerment, that's where we each have to stay strong in our positions to do what is needed to overcome the force they're using against us. So you can look in the eyes of them clowns they be sending out there on us. One-on-one, they'll get faded. They'll get wiped out quickly. But it's because they are organized. They believe in their minds they have the right to use whatever force they choose to use against us. And in too many of our minds on one end, people bow down and submit and don't believe they got the right to defend themselves, anybody, anything. And then on the other end, they got in the minds of cats, well, I'm only going so far. Whether they intentionally are trying to set niggas up or whether they just fucking scared and they woofing all that shit. But time ultimately reveals all. So, November 27th, they won't be back in court, and I'm sure everything I'm doing is being monitored. So, very likely they may try to build on what the prosecutor was doing last couple weeks ago, make me into whatever. But the reality is, as someone who they very likely played a role in trying to have assassinated, someone that's been repeatedly attacked by police, sheriffs, had my spaces invaded, I have a right to protect and defend myself and all with me, around me, anyone that I see being violated. And this is the argument that they're, going to push on very likely a jury, that if it went to that, they'll bring them from areas where they believe the thought process, if not worse, because it could be way more than what we know. But that's the argument they're pushing right now. So, because we reject all of that, we overstand our rights as human beings to defend ourselves, to take control of these situations. They are looking to co-opt us right now. But y'all is what ultimately determines everything. Like I've been saying, if it comes to where any of us got to do time, y'all make sure y'all commit an equal amount of time tearing they shit down. Stay out they fucking stores, whether it be these Korean merchants, Arab merchants, Jewish merchants, swap meets, Starbucks, all this shady ass shit. And folks keep asking, why I keep saying Starbucks. Last year, we were pushing the prison strike for the unjustified amount of brothers and sisters sitting on those plantations, and we identify corporations who have a financial investment in those prison plantations and keeping our folks incarcerated. And Starbucks is one of them. I'll try to share the information we was putting out last year, but that's one of the reasons I keep saying Starbucks, in addition that they are, one of the businesses that's coming in to accommodate the gentrification. And that's something else, I am being seriously suppressed on here, dealing with that issue. I noticed on the Lamert Park Beat group now, I'm being blocked from commenting on posts, my posts, any other posts. If people comment, I can reply, but they're not letting me add on, to what I've been doing. And like I said, that group was created by white folks. They got some Negroes who work with them now at this point, trying to help them advance their agenda. But again, that is just one of the many areas where, unfortunately, we still got Negroes in 2017 who will sabotage not just our advancement, but their own. Because they don't get them few temporary dollars they get, and it's going to run out, and these motherfuckers will dispose of them once they no longer need it. So y'all are what it's really about. How much longer you going to sit on your ass? How much longer you going to watch the show and not get involved? How much more you going to tolerate? How much longer are you going to think it doesn't concern you? Again, the problem too often, people wait till that shit hits home, and then they fucking devastated. You know what I'm saying? They ain't nobody here to help them, but again, they didn't step up and do their part when other folks was out here hurting. So, at this point, like with all other movements, the ones who got out there and did what they did the most. It's not as much to criticize them as far as what they did and didn't do. I mean, everyone is to be held accountable, but even more so, it's the many more who never got involved. It's the many more who just sat back and watched. It's the many more who just did the least amount that they could do. We're giving our all to this. We're very much aware of the fact that transitions are going to be made. I mean, transitions are going to be made regardless, but in direct relation to what we're doing, and that's part of the reason why that can't be used against us, because we understand transitions will be made. That's why their wealth and material things and all this other shit can influence us this way or that way. We understand it's about our people and the advancement thereof first and foremost. So if a situation can be worked out where, with these, a situation can be worked out as more of y'all get involved, period. Well, we have these Koreans and others make the necessary concessions. And that first and foremost is getting up out of here. Us taking more shares of what's rightfully ours. I've been saying the tobacco industry, the alcohol industry, the phone industry, all these different industries that we are putting big money into, we have to get into better positions of manufacturing these products, distributing these products, and retailing these products. All right? But before any and all of that, y'all, it's getting out here and getting strong enough to protect ourselves and each other. That's what it comes down to. That's what they was trying to bully us out of last night. Because again, they feel confident in how many people are going to respond on they have and support them terrorizing us. So on the flip side of it, we need more folks to respond on our behalf and help protect and defend each other. All right, it's not that we the bad guys, not that we the crazy ones, we not the psychopath, we not the ones out here killing folks. We not the ones getting in front of these cameras lying to y'all. We not the ones trying to cover up murders. We not the motherfuckers conning folks out of homes. Even when you talk about dope dealing and all this other shit, we repeatedly see that the government is behind it, but we will, accept the criminalization of our own who are caught playing a role in it. But it's time to get stronger, y'all. We need y'all support, and if you really overstand it, it's to your own best interest to get more involved before it's too late. You know what I'm saying? We see these little surges in our resistance every 50 years. Do y'all want to spend the next 50 years with these motherfuckers foot on your damn neck? It's time to break their motherfucking feet, snatch off their motherfucking legs, and shove that shit up they stinking asses. Black power.